In contrast with like what the first flight accomplished, just give us a walkthrough on what that looked like.
Yeah. Well, first flight is admittedly a supplementary program.
Right.
We need to say existing curricula need to stay in place. There is a place for in learning. Every educator will agree where you spend time teaching the kids what they're learning. It's called concept identification. There's a time when you talk with them about procedures, about, we've learned that that essays have text structures, for example. And so we teach them 6 or 8 of the different text structures and say, we're going to practice this one today. Well, I think what's missing is that even from the beginning in teaching and learning about literacy, that application is always seen as something that kids will do largely outside of class. And it's got to happen under the careful eye of a facilitator who's trained to focus on simulating learning and reading and writing in class. I think the most important thing here is to just admit, in learning, kids identify concepts, they have to learn procedures, they have to apply. And you're right, Usama, so many of literacy programs now focus 20% on concept identification, another 40% on procedures. And they say that leaves you plenty of time for application, but there's not a lot of guidance for teachers. And everyone thinks that application means, we're testing them on how well they can write on their own independently. And we've just learned that when you, we've developed 6 critical thinking strategies in our reading and writing, our applied vocabulary program. And they get kids thinking out of the box. I want to say not making them do something, but empowering them to identify what's the difference between among these 4 key terms when we're talking about mammals,
Right.
And when you hear the words whale, when you hear the words whale and dolphin and cat, how is that different from the catfish? Well, to a young learner, the whale and the dolphin and the catfish live in the water, so obviously they're the 3 that are alike. But we know from the science curriculum, it's the whale and the dolphin and the cat that are alike because they're all mammals.
Mammals, yeah.
And so you just continually put up in front of kids, a chance that jars their surface level understanding of what they're learning and get them to start thinking deeper. And you don't rescue them. You let them mess up for a while. Our first 4 reading passages in first flight applied vocabulary is we're using one strategy. It's called the quad cluster, and it essentially asks kids to take 4 words and explain in 4 to 6 sentences why one word is different and the other 3 are alike.
Right.
They say, well, that sounds a little repetitious, but we've been using that strategy we call the quad cluster for 35 years.
Right.
We'll get tired of it. And they like to explain understanding. And we need to empower them to do that.